Hey friends, welcome back to the My Creative Days podcast. I'm Lindsay, and I'm always looking for ways to save money, make life easier, and stay creative in the process. Around here, we talk about DIY projects, thrifting, home decor, furniture flipping houses, and so much more. I also share a lot of Q&As because I love answering your questions and diving into real life stuff you're actually dealing with. So whether you're listening in your car, working on a project, cleaning the house, or just sneaking in a quiet moment to yourself, I'm really glad you're here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to take a quick minute to tell you about the Furniture Flipping Academy. I created the Academy to be an all-in-one resource for anybody who wants to learn furniture flipping. Whether you're looking for a creative outlet, some extra income, a side hustle, money to pay down debt, save for vacations, or even opportunities to work with companies and brands, the Academy walks you through every step on how to get started through how to grow. Inside, you'll find lessons on finding furniture, flipping it with confidence, pricing it, selling it, and so much more. There is so much inside the Furniture Flipping Academy. It's completely self-paced. You get lifetime access. It is a resource you'll come back to again and again throughout your flipping journey. And right now, it's at the lowest price it's ever been. You can find all the details and the link in the show description. Now let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I'm hoping is helpful to creators, people that are working with brands, and maybe even brands themselves when you're working with creators in different ways. So I thought that this would be a good podcast and maybe some helpful tips or things to think about if maybe this is something you're deciding you want to start doing, working with brands and collaborating and all of that. And so these are some things that you should definitely keep in mind when you start doing that. So why great brand partnerships can go sideways and how to avoid it. So that's kind of what I'm talking about today. I think it's important, like I said, for anybody who wants to create content, for anybody who wants to start working with brands. And again, for a brand, a small business owner, or someone who hires freelancers, this is just good to kind of know and think about. Recently, I found myself in a situation where I seriously considered walking away from a 5-figure brand deal. And before I get into this episode, I want to let you know that that is not the norm. Over the years, I have worked with so many incredible brands. I've had partnerships where everything was great. The communication was great. Expectations were clear. Everyone respected the process. Like it's been amazing. It's every once in a while you'll get those where you're like, oh my goodness. Sometimes you'll question the amount that you agreed to. Like, I needed to be paid more for this. And other times you're like, I think I don't even want to do this at all. Like it's just like with any job, it's the same thing. Like this is a job. This is how I get paid. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have times when communication with your coworkers, quote unquote, is great. And other times where it's not. So these are just some things that you can do up front to make sure a partnership stays positive from beginning it to end. So number one, make sure that everyone understands the scope before work begins. So one of the biggest reasons that partnerships become frustrating is because expectations slowly start changing after the project is already underway, right? So when a collaboration begins, there should be a clear understanding of what content is being created, what the timeline looks like, when the approval or what the approval process looks like. How many times are you going to edit? How many times are you going to let them send over edits? How quickly do you need those? So do you need a week? If they send you over edits, do you need a week to get those edits done? And then you can post. Like all of that kind of stuff needs to be clear before it starts. How many revisions are included? I kind of got ahead of myself, of course. And who has the final approval? It seems simple, but it's one of the most important parts of a successful partnership. You need to have this stuff. Everybody needs to understand these things. It should be in black and white. And everyone needs to be aligned before anyone starts filming, writing, designing, creating anything. Everybody has to be in line with all of that before you sign anything. Because once production begins, changes become much more complicated. And that's something that I think brands need to understand. So if you know, like if you send in a concept, the brand kind of knows the direction you're going or how the creator knows what their audience is going to resonate with. It has to sound like it comes from their voice and something they would naturally share. When it doesn't, it's going to read wrong, it's going to come off wrong, and it's not going to perform well for you as the brand or the company. So let the creator, you came to this creator for a reason. Let the creator get your, whatever it is that you're working on. Is it a message? Get your brand, get your whatever. Let them get it across in a way that they know that their audience likes. Because if that's how you're getting it out, if you're not doing UGC work where they are using the content you're creating on their accounts and all of that, I'm talking about if you're supposed to post on your content, on your channels, you know your audience is best. So you create that content, and the brands need to understand that that's how it's going to go over best with their audience, if that makes sense. And once you start production and start doing all of the filming and all of that, brands need to understand that for you to go in, let's say you do a voiceover or something, for you to go in and change 2 words at 39 seconds in a reel, that's going to mess up the entire thing. Like, that's just not easy to do. So it's just having an understanding of what creators have to do to create the content, and having an idea of what an actual edit would actually do to the overall piece of content, if that makes sense. That's important. I really think that brands need to understand better what the creative and the creation process looks like. So you, as the creator, you need to make sure that they understand it, and you need to kind of set it in stone and let them understand, yes, I love to work with you. This is how my audience likes it. This is what I'm willing to give you. This is the time frame I need. You get one edit, you get whatever. Like, it just needs to be, you know what you're doing best. They're coming to you to create this content for them. And then you need to be strong in what you know you can produce and how it's going to go best. Understand the difference between an edit and a new project. So this is kind of something that it's kind of the same thing. Creators and brands need to understand this. There is a big difference between making a small adjustment and completely changing the direction of a project. Changing a sentence in a blog post, super easy. Can do that, that's fine. Adjusting a caption, usually easy. But asking someone to reshoot an entire video because the direction changed after filming, that's a completely different thing. Now you're starting from scratch again, and you are creating a whole new piece of content. Or like I said, the voiceover. You've got it down, you've got the messaging down, and they're like, oh, but we decided we kind of don't want to add this to the end of that now. So like, those aren't simple edits, right? Those are new productions. And knowing the difference helps everyone have realistic expectations. So putting that even in the contract, or making sure that they understand that, like, okay, if I'm going to at any point have to recreate an entire new, redo hours of work, coordinate schedules, now I have to, like, if you're doing a project for a brand or whatever, now I have to repaint a piece of furniture, or now I have to wait for new light, the best lighting. So I can't just do this tonight. They get back to you. So it's, you got to set up all your equipment again. Like, it's a whole new production, and they should have to pay for that. It's not a simple edit. Okay, another thing, remember that we are running a business, right? Sometimes there's a misunderstanding with what goes into content creation, right? A creator isn't just posting a quick video on their phone, right? They are running a full business. They have content calendars, deadlines, editors, photographers, assistants, blog schedules, newsletters, YouTube videos, affiliate partnerships, just other client work happening behind the scenes. You don't know any of that. I have some things scheduled out weeks or months in advance alongside with my just regular content. So when one project gets delayed because approvals take longer than expected, or the scope changes, it doesn't just affect that one project. And that's something that I think a lot of brands need to realize. And it's something, again, you know this as a creator, you know what you have to do. So you can't just sit back and expect them to know that too, right? So it's going to create a domino effect across your entire business just for one, a delayed response from a post going live on this date. It's going to push everything else back. and it's going to screw your entire content calendar up. So you need to be upfront and honest about that, and they need to understand that. It is not just them that you're sitting there waiting for somebody to come give you a partnership, and then that's the only work you do. You have 10,000 other things that you're doing. This partnership is one little tenth of what you're doing, right? And so they need to understand that. The next tip is to have the right people involved from the beginning. So one thing that can create challenges is when additional decision makers enter the process after the creative direction has already been approved. This often happens with larger companies. If you know somebody is going on maternity leave or on a longer vacation or anything like that, you need to know that up front, because then if somebody else is going to be stepping in, it could look totally different. Right? Maybe the original contact loved the idea. All the edits are great. You can go ahead and post it. But then they leave on vacation that you didn't know about, and another approval team that suddenly comes in and they're like, oh, no, wait, we want to do this, or let's do this instead, or that's a totally different vision. And now here we are again, creating all new content, right? So kind of just making sure that the right people, or the initial people that you're working with, they are going to see this entire project through. Does that make sense? I'll just leave it like that. That's super important. And if that's not going to be the case, it can really go sideways for you. Okay. Creators need strong contracts too. So this is, what do I want to say? So a lot of times the brands will send you the contract and, obviously go through it, make sure the deliverables, the timeline, the payment terms, the usage rights, all of that, revision limits, and all of that's in there. One of the biggest things that you need to make sure is defining what counts as a revision versus what counts as a reshoot or a completely new request. Make sure that that's in the contract, right? So having those conversations up front makes everything clear. Nobody's trying to figure it out. And another thing that I would definitely tell you to do is that, let's say they make a revision on a Thursday at 3. They cannot expect you at 3 to make all the revisions and then, yep, go ahead and post it today. No, that's not how my content calendar works. I have, my audience isn't used to having things coming out at 6:00 p.m. on Thursday night. Like, that is not just the way it goes. So being upfront and having those conversations and I have to tell you, even when a partnership is kind of going sideways, or I'm like, what is happening? Usually the communication and just being open and upfront and honest it's usually fine. I'm telling you, it usually is going to work itself out, but simple communication can avoid a lot of problems. And that's my next tip, is just communication matters more than anything. If something needs to change, talk about it. If you're not happy, you cannot expect me at 3 p.m. or even you have office hours. You are working a job. Your office hours are 9 to 4, whatever they are, Monday through Thursday. That's your office hours. So if you're getting back to me Friday night at 6 p.m., I will not see that until Monday morning. I am off of my computer. So those kinds of things brands need to know. And that's even something that I would put inside of a contract. Just so you know, my office hours are Monday morning from 9 to 4, or Monday through Thursday, 9 to 4. Beyond that, I am not on my computer. Another thing they need to know is, let's say you have a whole package and you're doing a blog post and pins for Pinterest, and you've got newsletters involved and podcasts, whatever it is. And you have other people who are helping you do some of that stuff. They need to know, hey, I have a team. And so it's not just me. You emailing me on a Friday at 5 p.m. My other team, they're not working at that time either. Some of my team, they're across the globe. They aren't even in the same time zone. They're already in a Saturday. Do you know what I'm saying? So and that is something you need to communicate with them. So, your YouTube person who's in Spain, I'm just making this up, they will not get this, message until Monday at 9 p.m. my time, whatever it is. Do you know what I'm saying? So just being upfront with that, like, this is not just me. It's not just me running the show. I have people who help me do this. And so you need to respect their time and their schedule as well. And this is how we do things. So we need to make sure that all of this fits into those parameters. Again, communication is just, it goes a long way, and just communicate throughout the whole process, even when things are going sideways. The biggest lesson I think that I think on both sides is to respect each other's expertise. And I think with brands especially, you are coming to a creator that has been growing a following, knows their audience the best, knows the messaging that's going to resonate with their audience the best, right? That's their expertise. Don't try to change that, because I'm telling you, as a brand, a company, your message, your product, your whatever, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well if it doesn't read or view or whatever like this creator normally does content, or the things that they normally talk about. Does that make sense? So I just think brands need to be aware of the creator and what they're bringing to the table. That's why you're coming to them. On the flip side of that, can I just tell you, I really respect brands and companies that are looking to creators to bring their product, their brand, their whatever to the forefront to get some more eyes on it. I respect brands and companies that do that so much, because I'm telling you, that's where the world is right now. The world's on social media. And these creators that are spending hours to create content and grow a following, and then they have that following of your targeted audience. I mean, it's like a duh. Like, get in front of that audience. Have that creator create, use your product or get with them and collaborate with these creators, because, commercials are gone, newspaper ads are gone, mail flyers are gone, like all of that's gone. And you can actually partner with these creators that have got your targeted audience in front of them every single day. Like, kudos to you, to those brands and companies that understand that, and they're starting to do that or have been doing that, because I just think it goes so much further. You've got a creator where that audience, which is your targeted audience, trusts what they recommend, what they do, what they watch that creator do, whatever it is. Kudos to you that you've got that figured out. And I mean, there's so many brands that are still like, no, I just don't think we can do that. And it's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So yeah. So I just thought this might be helpful, because I know there are a lot of people, especially who, when you see anything, I have questions when I work with brands, and especially from furniture flippers who are like, I would love to work with a paint brand or a paintbrush company or whatever. And so I did include that inside my Furniture Flipping Academy, how to do that. But this is just something, if you're thinking about working with brands, partnering with brands, just make sure that some of these things you remember these things when that time comes, or the next, contract you're looking to sign. Just make sure you have everything that you need to kind of cover yourself and cover the work that you have agreed on, because it's not fun when it doesn't go that way. And so if you have any questions about this topic, leave them in the comments. I will check them out. I will answer them there. You can always reach out to me on Instagram at mycreativedays. Email me, lindsay@mycreativedays.com. I'd be happy to answer you there as well. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. It's free to subscribe. We are launching new podcasts every Monday here on the channel. And beyond that, I am launching new videos every single week here on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any. If you click the bell, you'll be notified when any new content is released. And as always, I would love to hear from you. What are some podcast content ideas, questions you would love for me to ask or answer. I love doing Q&As. If it's just one topic you would like me to cover, please reach out to me and let me know. That tells me exactly what I need to be recording here. And it's just super helpful to me. So thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day. And until next time, I'll talk to you very soon.